Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjanam Shalakaya Chukshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanovistam Purnam Radha Dasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupa Manjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayanam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismirahasar Murali Manohara Radhikara Shikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatiyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramu Ramu Hare Hare. So first of all I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradattama Shri Guru Pada Padma Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev, and to all Shri Rupa and all Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandis Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, and most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudev and all the Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So continue reading from the book Svarupa of the Jiva. Today is our last recording lecture. We are going to cover all the different personalities. And today is Srila Sanatana Goswami Pada, Srila Rupa Goswami Pada, and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. The book does not end here, but it will be going deeper and deeper, and mostly in the same aspects that we already have discussed. So it's not a type of book that we can record. It's not so easy study just by hearing. This is a very deep study. So the following chapters, they will become more and more technical. So therefore, I'm just giving you this overview from this first 3 chapters about what our acharyas are saying in general about this topic of Svarupa of the Jiva, and now you can have a very broad idea, and if perhaps you have more interest in going deeper, then you can read the book itself. Otherwise, you can consider that enough to understand how our acharyas, our Guru Varga, they are all in the same picture regarding the Svarupa of the Jiva. And then I will choose another book so we can continue our studies. So Srila Sanatana Goswami, gem-like scripture Brihad Bhagavatamrita, is revered as the foundational Goswami literature. The following Brihad Bhagavatamrita verses are part of a discussion between Gop Kumar and the Bhakti Shastras headed by the Mahapuran Srimad Bhagavatam. Gop Kumar is questioning and the Bhakti Shastras are replying. The commentary to these verses, known as Digdarshini Tika, that which surveys all directions, this is the meaning of Digdarshini, was composed by the author himself in order to clarify the verses' intended meaning. The English version is a translation of Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj, Hindi Bhavanuvad. Bhavanovad refers to a translation that clearly reveals the author's intent. So the first quote is Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2.2.180. The separated parts of the Lord. Just as the atomic particles of the rays of the moon and sun have characteristics such as self-radiance, like their sources, similarly, the atomic living beings, or jivas, are endowed with qualities such as eternity, knowledge, and bliss, like the Lord Himself, but in a minute quantity. Therefore, they are called the separated amshas, or parts of the Lord. Next one is from Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2.2.185. Spiritual pleasure is the very nature of their, or means the jiva's existence. They are a manifestation of the splendor and opulence of the Supreme Living Force. Next one. There is a verse quoted here. Atastasmada vinaste bhinapi satam mata mukto satyam api prayo vedas tisted ato hisa. Therefore, great personalities are of the opinion that because the jivas and Parabrahma both have characteristics of Satchidananda, they are non-different from one another. But because the jivas are a portion of Parabrahma, they are also different. Even when the jivas are liberated, as a rule, this difference remains. So even in the liberated stage, there is differences between jiva and Parabrahma. Then the Digdarshini Tika purport explains. The Bhakti Shastra says, the living being or the jiva and Parabrahma or the Supreme Brahma are non-different from one another because they share the same nature, that of eternality, knowledge and bliss. But as the jiva is a part or amsha of Parabrahma, they are different also. This concept illustrated in the three examples in verse 184 of the sun and its rays, the fire and its sparks, the ocean and its waves. The sun and its parts, its rays, are non-different in that they share radiance and other similar attributes. But unlike the sun, the rays are multifarious and diffusive. This difference between the parts and the whole exists eternally. The significance of this example is that just as the sun has an inherent relationship with its rays, so the living beings have an integral relationship with the Lord. This is the Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2.2.186. Next one is the next verse, 187. All living beings are embodiments of eternality, knowledge and bliss. But because they are minute parts of the Supreme Brahma, they have forgotten their true nature. Being thus deluded, they have fallen into the cycle of repeated birth and death, the beginningless ignorance created by Shri Krishna's potency of illusion called Maya. Now the purport says, by the influence of Krishna's energy, Maya, which has created illusion from time immemorial, the jiva forgets the truth of his own constitutional nature. I am part and parcel of Parabrahma, the Supreme Lord. My nature is to be eternally existent, full of knowledge and bliss. Thus, deluded in forgetfulness of this, he falls into material existence. The living being's identification with the material world, an ego that is the product of illusion, is not only erroneous, but according to the consideration of conclusive truth, is it is impossible. The Jiva can never be in a conditioned state of material existence. Next one. Next one is Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2.4.190, entitled Vaikuntha, the Spiritual World, explains why the Jivas were created with eternal individuality and tastes for various intimate services. Shri Krishna's pastimes expand with ever new variety. His heart is as deep as millions of oceans. By logic, no one can understand the purpose for which he has placed different tastes in the hearts of his devotees, and thus expanded the opulence of his pastimes accordingly. Now the purport is, Sri Gopkumar may raise the doubt. Quote, the Supreme Lord, the source of all knowledge and the originator of actions, is known as Rishikesh, the controller of the senses. So why does he not equally inspire all devotees to have a taste for the topmost worship? Means Madhura Rasa. In answer, Sri Narada Muni speaks this verse beginning with Vichitra. He says, Shri Krishna wants to taste wonderful, variegated nectarian rasas. Therefore, he has placed a variety of extraordinary desires in the hearts of the devotees, endowing them with special moods. Significantly, because the heart of the Lord is unfathomably deep like millions of oceans, no one can ascertain the opulence of his pastimes by means of reason and logic. Bhagavan has bestowed a vast variety of tastes among his devotees. The reason is that by constantly expanding his pastimes in ever new ways, he gets the opportunity to relish all these sweet flavors. Otherwise, it would not be possible to taste such sweetness. In this way, as the Lord expands the opulence of his manifold pastimes, his devotees experience his grace according to their respective tastes. Considering their respective moods to be topmost and tasting the mellows related to those moods, they are fully satisfied. So this is a very nice quote. This whole Brihad Bhagavatamrita book explains a lot about the nature of the Svarupa and how the Svarupa is fixed, how Gopkumar, he only becomes satisfied when he reaches Golok in the mood of Sakyaras, and he has before had association not only of devotees but of Lord himself. Different aspects of Lord, of Krishna, were also there in his association, and he could not change, he could not feel satisfied. Actually, for some time he was satisfied, but later on, when he realized that that type of relationship cannot go further than his inherent, his latent desire to enjoy sakharas could not be fulfilled, then therefore he became, dissatisfied, and then he wanted something else. He wanted to go higher and higher, but at that time even he did not know, actually, because he did not have the proper guidance of the Guru, just like in Jaiva Dharma, Babaji Maharaj instructs Brajanath and Vijay Kumar, saying that, okay, you are in Madhurya Rasa and you are in Sakya Rasa. But Gopkumar, no. He received mantra from his Guru, he began to chant with faith, but he did not have Shiksha. So there was no one to say, oh, you are in Sakya Rasa, don't spend your time going to all these places because you're not going to be satisfied over there. So he was going by himself, but in any way, due to the practice and to this and the mantra he received, that mantra was bringing out his original nature. So just to conclude here, there is a footnote about this final quote from Srila Sanatana Goswami, which was spoken by Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj in December 15, 2015, Chandigarh. He says, "It is natural that because Krishna is the reservoir of all the rasas, he has invested different jivas with different tastes or rasas. And by nature, the jivas are attracted to their own ras and nothing else. Bhagavan has created all rasas in such a way that those who have taste for a certain ras will not have taste to serve in any other. Depending on the ras of the devotee will engage in that service only. And the Lord also has a taste only for the devotee's performance of that service." So now those who believe that Svarupa is not fixed, they have to agree that once you have reached perfection in Sakyaras, so why not you can change again your taste for Madhura Ras, for instance, because considering that the soul is already a spiritual entity, so whatever comes to the soul, in that case, if they believe that is changeable, it may change again, but it's not happening like that. It's not happening like that. So in this way, again, Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj is clarifying this point very nicely. So next one is Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. So here there is a verse, definition of sadhana bhakti, famous verse 1.2.2 Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Kriti sadha bhavisada bhavasa sadhana bida nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam vriddhi sadhyata. Action by the senses which produces the stage of bhav is called sadhana bhakti. This attained state of bhav bhakti, sadhyata, is an eternal sthayi bhav, which is not created but simply manifests within the soul by the spiritual energy of the Lord. So it's not created, it is manifested by the spiritual energy of the Lord. Next is the verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.7. Vaishishyam patra vaishishyad ratir esho pagachati yatarka pratibimbatma sfatikadishu vastushu. Just as the sun takes on various forms when reflected through crystals and other items, Rati takes on various forms when manifesting in the different individuals. So these are the quotes here from Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. The next one is Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Caitanya Mahaprabhu, one's original love for Krishna. Through the pen of Shri Krishnadas Kabiraja Goswami, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu spoke this verse to Srila Rupa Goswami Pada. Ei Shuddha Bhakti iha hoite prema hoy, pancharatre bhagavate ei laksha nakhoy. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 19.169. These activities are called Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. In the rendering of such pure devotional service, one's original love for Krishna develops in due course of time. In Vedic literatures like the Pancharatras and Srimad Bhagavatam, these symptoms are described. So again, Mahaprabhu is saying that the original love will develop in due course of time. Next one is the verse Mahaprabhu spoke to Srila Sanatana Goswami Pada. Jivira Svarupa hoy Krishnira Nityadas, Krishnira Tatasta Shakti Veda Veda Prakash. Suryamsa Kirana Jaiche Agni Jwala Choy, Swabhavika Krishnira Teen Prakara Shakti hoy. Madhya Lila 20.108 and 109. It is the living entity's constitutional position to be an eternal servant of Krishna, because he is the marginal energy of Krishna and the manifestation simultaneously one with and different from the Lord. Like a molecular particle of sunshine or fire, Krishna has three varieties of energy. Next one. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kavunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koroi Udai. Madhya-lila 22.107. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of the living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, this love naturally awakens. Caitanya Mahaprabhu spoke the following verse to Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad. This first verse is also found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Ishte swarasiki raga parama vishtatha bhave tanmayi ya bhave bhakti shatra ragatmikodita. Madhya-lila 22.150. When one becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his natural inclination to love is fully absorbed in thoughts of the Lord. That is called transcendental attachment, and devotional service according to that attachment is called ragatmika, or spontaneous devotional service. Next one. Bahya antara ihara dui to sadhan, bahya sadhaka dehe kore shravana kirtan. Mone nija siddha deha korya bhavan, ratri dine kore braje krishnera sevan. There are two processes by which one may execute this Raganuga Bhakti, external and internal. When self-realized, the advanced devotee externally remains like a neophyte and executes all the shastric injunctions, especially those concerning hearing and chanting. But within his mind, in his original, purified, self-realized position, he serves Krishna in Vrindavan in his particular way. He serves Krishna 24 hours a day, all day and night. So, these were all the quotes from all our acharyas, from my Guru Maharaj up to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And then we are going to stop here. And if you wish to continue going deeper and deeper in more details and technical terms, there are so much more information regarding this topic in the book Svarupa of the Jiva. Okay? It was very nice to hear, to have all of you in this study, and I hope you're going to continue with the next book. Hare Krishna, vanchakalpatarvyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.